special ice so special drink, this way chocolate drink and then the coffee drink, West Point Savings Saloons, and a best assurance. You too, and chine need fufu and it's a bank. I mean, I can't be like I say, we the Brown, the body market be and it's a man penning another negana for Casa, and then some more can so Mexico some agent and say painting.
Amampanyin na nadu dankwa kufuadu nkasa ye emono wodi afutu magana for say COVID-19 ensese no yeni so
na mampani kasa wie enom na sebedwafo bi a kire omadwene ewo ne nsem okan ye no eho
edom kuma wo mra sebedwam so omadi omampanyin ho yaw state of the nation addresser wode bae
ensese mo ayese na be ye adwede betu akoso ewa bibimam ha no ene wo mo ahiemu etoato adwene ede afa ho
owura bi aboni rituo akunu yaya
ensem bi ka wenum ho na ede bra mu se kase gba kenkanfo yeso mo na anwumre eyeme Agya Kwabena mene
Obahima Afia Akyere Asiedu
Afia kasabono emu nsem nie se de oman mra pon ehye no edubre ne bra no a mampani a wote adwamu ese onya kwan no ne manfo ekasa state of the nation address na ne de ye mampani na nadodan kwakufu ado ye Ghana mampani no enya ho kwan eye bibi etisa na ne kasam no datu dwe kirem se COVID-19 yare bae no do kwasam se na eya ama niema aginsamu na so hihye pa na bande ye no ama o mesi kasam agina nya grokra anuti aboa so ma anka ho kire amanfo bekom no abafom.
The global pandemic of COVID-19 threatened to derail the progress chalked over the first 3 years of my administration. Its impact has led to the revision in GDP growth for 2020 from 6.8% to 0.9% and later to 1.9% to reflect significant slowdown in economic activities as a consequence of the effects of COVID-19 on lives and livelihoods. The proactive decisions taken by government to fight the pandemic, as well as revitalize and transform the economy with the 100 billion CD Ghana Cares or Batampa program, anchors bright prospects for the medium term. Government will continue to implement prudent fiscal measures to quicken the pace of fiscal consolidation. And in March this year, the Minister for Finance will come to this august house to provide further details on the measures to be taken to restore our country back to the path of economic recovery.
Amampanyin na nadu dankwa kufuadu akasa na ni nyina state of the nation address enum no he no de eto Ghana for enim se COVID-19 yare no enkoye enti bambo nhihye ya mpanyifo de gu akwanso no yenkoso a eniso.
We entered the year 2020 full of hope and the determination to build on the successes and joy of 2019, which ended on such a high note. Then the unexpected struck, and our world was literally changed overnight with the arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic has shaken economies and public health systems the world over and brought even some of the wealthiest and most developed countries to their knees. Over here in Ghana, our first priority in fighting the pandemic has been and will continue to be the health and safety of our citizens. We pioneered life-saving innovations that the WHO has since sought to replicate elsewhere. Our success thus far is a testament to the tireless work of our researchers, scientists, advisors, public health managers, frontline health care workers, hospital staff, contact tracers, and so many others who have dedicated themselves to the fight to keep Ghanaians safe. I'm using this opportunity to again remind all of us that the pandemic is still with us and we have to maintain the protocols to keep us safe.
Mampani na nado santo aso de tudwe kirimu se wo hwe Afia ba yato ye na nemu da ho fan na ogidi se Ghana fo akasa.
I am thankful to the Ghanaian people and to the Almighty that I have been given a clear mandate to govern the country for 4 more years, and thereby given the opportunity to complete tasks, consolidate some of the far-reaching measures we have introduced, and initiate further changes and adjustments to policies and practices. The Constitution demands that we go to the people after 4 years to ask for a mandate, and we must listen to the voice of the people. I said during the election campaign, and it is my firm and passionate view, that I should only be president in a fairly conducted election, which I believe in all sincerity the election of 7th December was.
Minority leader Honorable Haruna Idris Asema Woka and say, where di omampanyin ho yawo ebra enne State of the Nation address where they etu dwa e wo mmahye na afra se abaye to ye etuo kasa kasa wo mia bi na akra totoy ne wanka ho bibia no e na reho.
We will do so, Mr. Speaker, as you rightly pointed out, but to remind the President that Parliament is not almost in the 8th Parliament. The numbers we are certain, if the Chima is added, we leave our fractured democracy in your hands. Conspicuously lost in your speech is the loss of lives in Techima and other parts. My understanding of it was that 1G1F should contribute to job creation. And then the president again was dead silent on the growing unemployment in our country. Young men and women turning out of the universities, whether universities or polytechnics, are unemployed. What are we doing about it? You do youth employment and give people 100 Ghana cedis. NAPCO employees are not even on Senate. NAPCO employees have no training. And after 1 or 2 months, they have to get back home. That is not sustainable. I used to have enormous respect for Nana Akufo-Addo as somebody who held the rule of law, belief and faith in democracy, but his conduct in the 2020 election is disappointing. I mean, when President Mahama lost, he lost. He considered defeat. There is nothing like forcing to stay. That's why people are dying, because you are imposing yourself. And then every president gets it easy on the second term. But for him, what happened? With all the COVID money spent, we'll be investigating COVID, and the money they spend on election instead of spending it on COVID to protect life, on public health. They didn't spend the COVID money on public health. They were dishing it around and sharing it around men and women across the country to get vote. And the media, you must be interested in one of the most dangerous things Nana-Addo has done to our democracy is the huge dosage of money he used in this election. Going forward, that will undermine the integrity of any democratic process, any competitive democratic process. It has never ever happened. Even at polling stations, people sharing money and putting money in masks for voters, and you think that that gives you a democracy. I'm sorry. That's
Yet, I want to say, na wo jumedi kuruya emuno ene yampeni na nado de atuja echirimu se hu be hia se nyama tumi kwose de se itumi kwara na ye ne amanfo a eyem na hyebudwafo no bi di nkomo ebisa se anye bia ye mampeni sama wo kan no wo mu hunu ne se wo mu nsem nie
President sama wa kan ye hwese obedi ne nsam no so ebisa nsam no ye keka de be Muslim no yana intimi ni so sane ye enti yana ema na ha dwene enti ye hwese last year last emphasis yare no ko fa so ko yare no ese yare no ko e besisia no me COVID no ase ye nhu se ye koso test e the figures no ba ade hu hia ya o se ye hwe ho ase bi pa cause yare na wo ho enko enti nsema president aka so obeye e wa fi no eye going forward no ye hwe se ebebam
ne kasa etwetwe ye kasa ode pray enkabo mu e de ama oman Ghana de broni be kan se corporation no se baby ayeduru no ye nyina ye be yeko na anamontu ayetu ne bibia ne ye be chichire wo man no ama timamufo nso adi nti me nso so mɛfa saa akonnwa so na masrɛ ɔman no nyinaa obiara ɔwɔ leadership position akandie ɛna nyame ayi no a ɔyɛ wɔ ɔman yi mu no ɔhwɛ ɔman panyini ne kasa dɛ ɛne ne nkabo mu kasa ne wakan na ɔno nso ne fa biara na biara baabi ɔno nso te no ɔmfa ne dwuma ɛma nkabo mu sonkommra.
Nado is shown to be a great leader who has been able to put this country together in the last 4 years. And 4 more na that man so you the power there or the B or the beckham. Now some crow came out of your then galamsey. What's the galamsey assembly? No, young politics if you can't assembly. Whether we should all allow it to become a problem. Young can't no soon but the young timidity and shake near you used to create your being and be a fire bana. Then we should not allow it to get into the political space and become political. So it's all voting and MPP so be and but it's not about vote alone. We can't stay in this country and eat only votes. This country also has to develop. Yankare umubiala ya mine na do waka also the opedo biala ya mine. But yenye no sustainable so the table you nyara enyano faso.
The presentation of the State of the Nation's address, it was brief. So that is encouraging because in the era of COVID, you don't expect say you remember Bettina baby in an enclosed place for a very long time. So that is very commendable. However, media ukakra yawa media neze ohe omoa omohwe omonkwa following from the announcements of the election results now. Nipa yoku omo in Tishman South and other places. One expected senka oye omampenyi die sa nyume esiwo na pensiono. You know, you would have paid tribute, you know, to the memory of those people who have lost their lives. Again, on the area of economy, I say, you know, they have made the economy a lot better. I mean, cameraman you know, so the people will decide whether or not, I mean, the people have already decided. It clearly tells you, say, Nipadodona any anje amamono because in Kamamono Eko kama you wouldn't move from a majority of 169 seats all of a sudden struggling to even hold on to 137. You know, so that is the verdict of the people of Ghana. Say last 4 years no Omampenyi Akufo-Addo amamono omeni enshadanjeho.
Asema ho high court edi ye no the injunction etso mrahye bedwani a wayi no hohoye eso honorable Peter Amewu eno akwakopiem e Supreme Court ma enne e kwa wiase Supreme Court mpanyufo adi asem no ahye se injunction yenyi fi ne so esan se no akra ewuye ache enti enei wo mo akonya se kobase mrahye bedwafo afofo no esoye a honorable Peter Amewu obetumi soye bi ama no ayeyi.
And to that extent, the orders of the court dated 23rd December ought to be struck out. The court granted an order of February quashing the entire proceedings of the court on 23rd December 2020. So we satisfied fully with that one. Then the second relief for prohibition. The court granted same to the extent that it struck out the reliefs that were in the nature of an election petition sought against John Peter Amewu to restrain him from being gazetted, to restrain him from being put before Parliament for swearing in and all. That have been totally struck out by the courts. That's essentially what we thought would be justice in the circumstances. We are happy, very much satisfied with the orders made by the court today.
What happens to the people?
I think that justice has been
What happens to the people?
As I indicated, yes, as I indicated, I think that the Buem issue for me is a simple, a straightforward one. The court today has upheld the validity of CI 128. The court had indicated that clearly CI 128 was constitutional, and the interested parties led by Chichikasa had failed to produce any evidence whatsoever impeaching the validity of CI 128. So, as far as I'm concerned, to the extent that CI 128 had placed the people of Central Kofi, Akpafu, Lipe, and Lobi under Buem, it will solve the issue. I think the consequence to all of this is that the Buem election, if you ask me, yes, for me was improperly conducted to the extent that it excluded the people of Central Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Lipe. So I think that the proper thing to do is for the Electoral Commission to perhaps look at that issue and take due steps. And I think that it's also important for me to place on record certain misconceptions and misperceptions that have been made about the intervention of the Attorney General in this matter. And that is clearly because the Attorney General was sued. The Attorney General was a party to the High Court proceedings above, and if you are party to proceedings, you reserve the right to take any action at all that you think is available to you at law. That is what the Attorney General did. The comments an action here at the Supreme Court seeking to quash what went on at the High Court was not according to law, and was granted by the court.
But Council, the court did not grant all your reliefs. What the court said was that...
So our contention was that the matter was the nature of a parliamentary election petition, and to that extent, the orders of the court dated 23rd December ought to be struck out. The court granted an order of certiorari quashing the entire proceedings of the court on 23rd December 2020. So we satisfied fully with that one. Then the second relief for prohibition, the court granted same to the extent that it struck out the reliefs that were in the nature of an election petition sought against John Peter Amewu to restrain him from being gazetted, to restrain him from being put before Parliament for swearing in.
Agya de hyehyɛ o maye wa bibire ama hodro entamu no ene de yema pani akwakwode ne di ewon kran ha.
Africa Continental Free Trade no eye baby ba kwan eba bedidwa ewo abibire mu ha na Ghana eno headquarters anase office kese no ewo empenifo ada no wadi na asoye hwe adwadi ne fididwuma so ene Ghana Revenue Authority na afensu empenifo a omo Africa Continental Free Trade nim ne kabo mu emergedie no ekoso na osoafo oda asoye na no munyafo alanchere maten ekasaye ena wose enye nnwuma akese nko na benya chefa ewo dwumadi omu dim ne mu no eye Ghana nnwuma nyina sawuso
the role of public sector institutions, the Food and Drugs Authority, the Standards Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Bank of Ghana, the Exports Promotion Authority, all these public sector institutions are ready to ensure that the private sector can harness the benefits of the AFCFTA. But we are also aware that the contribution of government alone cannot guarantee the success of this program. And so we hope that we can work actively with the private sector, business associations, to enable the private sector to respond to all the interventions that government has put in place. And I say this, and I want to put particular emphasis on micro, small, and medium enterprises. If the AFCFTA is only going to benefit the major corporations in Africa, then we would not have carried the people along with us. So in Ghana, our focus must be on how we ensure that micro, small, and medium enterprises can also take advantage of the AFCFTA.
Ghana mampenyi na nadu dankwa kufu adon so kasa no chem se we eya kwanya kese de mabibi manyina si ebenya baby ba kon adidwa na amasikasem atumpon.
I expect all stakeholders in the export value chain, including the relevant ministries, trade and investment promotion agencies, regulatory institutions, and business development service providers to work closely towards the common goal of ensuring that Ghana achieves the non-traditional export revenue target of $25 billion within the next 10 years. I assure the AU Commission and the AFCFTA Secretariat of the continuous support of the government and people of Ghana for the success of the AFCFTA initiative. Accordingly, ladies and gentlemen, I have the great pleasure and responsibility of declaring our AFCFTA trading in Ghana officially launched.
I for madam my yen kratwe ye bad ya kanyina edibemamo yenkomra.